Hi guys, Dave here. My buddy Ghost with me. We're out and about sort of doing our own thing. And I thought I'd take this opportunity to shoot a little video. So everybody's doing videos about their bug out bags, their inch bags, their whatever, get home bags. This is my bush bag or my camp bag. It could probably be a bug out bag or an inch bag or whatever. I call it my bush bag. This is a Molly 2 rucksack. It's got, just on its own, a little over 5,000 cubic inches or 85 liters of storage space. Now, what I've done is I've added, I think the two side pockets are for entrenching tools normally. Then I have another bag. I'm not even sure what it's supposed to be for. And sort of I guess it's like a Maxpedition sort of knockoff. And then a large bag in the front that I've added to it. So it probably adds, I don't know, like another 10 liters or so to it. So it probably, I haven't weighed it, it probably comes up like 50-55 pounds probably. So it's got a good amount of weight to it, definitely. The pack itself empty weighs like 8.2 pounds, but it's external frame. The top has been waterproofed. It's a military issue, US military issue. This thing is rugged. So I'm gonna rip it apart and show you what I have. All right, so on the outside, first of all, I have my e-tool. I fairly recently acquired this off of Amazon. I haven't used it a whole lot, but I have used it enough to know that I like it. It is definitely a very rugged piece of kit. I've tested it out by digging a few holes fairly deep, and it doesn't bend or, you know, kind of warp out of shape like a lot of the cheaper ones do. And like with shipping and handling or whatever, it's like $52 or something Canadian. So definitely not too bad at all. Now it has, you know, like an edge here that, you know, you're supposed to be able to use it like a hatchet, and then a little saw blade area here. There's also a window breaker and a little knife. I honestly wouldn't really trust that to much of anything, because I really don't think it would be all that rugged, all that sturdy. I have to say that I'm not like super thrilled about the window breaker, because when I was digging a hole, I shoved my hand down on it, and it's kind of awkward there. There's also a whistle and a ferro rod that doesn't really seem to fit anywhere specifically, and especially when it's all broken down and into the bag, it kind of sticks out. But not, I haven't struck this once actually, so okay, I don't think that knife will do it. throws some alright sparks, I guess. So, good little backup. All in all, as a shovel, I like it. It's good. All the little peripherals, you know, kind of whatever. I got it because I needed a shovel. I don't need it to flip burgers, make coffee, open my beer bottle, you know, kind of whatever. It's a shovel. All the other stuff, I guess it's okay, but I don't need it to do all of that. But with the extra ferro rod and the extra whistle, always handy to have stuff like that, I guess. Like I say, the window breaker I'm not super thrilled with, but nah, what are you going to do? So, all in all, nice rugged piece of kit. Held up to, I even chopped and sawed with it a little bit just to say that I did. And you know, it held up. It was all right. So, okay, little pouch here. I have a lighter. It's always good to throw, you know, lighter matches, something or other, you know, wherever you can. And then I have a bandana in this little pouch clipped to the outside. If I'm hiking along, kind of doing whatever, and I just need something to wrap around my forehead or wipe sweat or, I don't know, whatever, it's just sort of there. Okay. On my little e-tool pouch on this side, I have my water kit. This is the Katadyn Hiker Pro. It's got a washable filter. It is a great little filter. I've used this quite a bit. And it's got just a ton of little extras and whatnot. I also have a couple of charcoal sticks. And then the instructions for the filter, that's it. The charcoal sticks, they if you stick them in your water bottle, especially after using like some water purification tabs, these are supposed to make water taste better. They absorb, you know, impurities and stuff that you don't necessarily want, you know, going into your body. So, could be handy if I had to use those water tablets for whatever reason. Also, it's charcoal. If I was having trouble starting a fire, this will help. So, a little bit of multi-purpose there. So, that's my kit. Next pouch over, I have a pair of gloves, and the fingers are set up to use touch devices, smartphones, kind of whatever, as well as my hat. And it's got 2 LED lights on it, so it works like a headlamp. Not sure why it's in there, but a little thing of bug spray, little extra bug spray. A pair of leather work gloves. So, it's always good to have a pair of work gloves. Even if you don't have something like this will definitely help. And these are small enough, I do believe. I think I tried them out. You can get them in so when it's really cold, you got some warmth there with the 2 layers. Layers always equal warmth, generally. Little side pouch. I have a little sucrets tin. In the sucrets tin, I have a sewing kit. I have some razor blades. Some cordage. It's not really twine. I'm not sure exactly what that's called. That's really strong for how thin it is. That's really, really strong. A little bottle opener, nail cleaner, small knife with a carabiner, and a key ring. That's basically just for cleaning my nails. I also have a little flashlight, just a little thing that is also a whistle. On this side, a small, tiny, little fold-up multi-tool. That's been fairly handy for getting hooks out of fish, out of their mouth and whatnot. I also have a bug net. Goes over the head, keeps the mosquitoes off you, as well as a really, really good sewing kit. Let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 needles in here, 6 different colors of thread. Each needle is already threaded, so I don't have to worry about threading a needle on the fly. They're already pre-threaded. Also, I have a little Bear Grylls survival kit. Waterproof torch matches, whistle, ferro rod, some cordage, a little bit of waxed cordage, a little Bear Grylls survival manual, little bit of cotton batting, and oh, there's a mirror. Two-sided mirror. It's always a good idea to have a mirror, not just for signaling, but for basically for checking yourself over at least once a day before you go to bed, whatever, for ticks. You don't want to have a tick attached to you for too long. Also, some more razor blades, water purification tablets, another little multi-tool knife, kind of jackknife configuration thing, and a big long SOS banner. And that all basically just goes into this little kit. Okay. Outside I got a hank of really, really good rope. That's 50 feet of rope. It's rated to 1,200 pounds, as well as just a diamond braid, all-purpose polypropylene type rope. Basically cheap stuff, but always handy. My kukri on that side. I'm sure some of you have seen that in previous videos. Over on this side, I have a hand-powered chainsaw. I have used it. It does work pretty well. It's definitely no substitute for a gas-powered chainsaw, but pretty handy to have. And it's not one of those wire ones either. Those little wire ones, they're not good. They're not reliable. And honestly, they don't even work all that well. I guess they're better than nothing, but definitely the chain one would be much better. I have my water bottle, first aid kit, this is a little bit better than your typical B.O.B kit. I have a bunch of needles. One of them is kind of like a sail needle. Okay, back to this now. I should have put my phone on silent before shooting the video. I can't believe how brain dead I've been today. My first aid kit. So, assorted needles for home sewing and repair. Sail needle, sack needle, canvas needle, carpet needle, leather needle, and 2 upholstery needles. So, I didn't notice that before until just now. So I have an assortment of needles, and I'm assuming the upholstery ones, which is 6 and 7, yeah. The curved ones, they look a lot like the ones they use in, you know, the hospital or the doctor's office to sew you up when you have an incident. So I suppose they could be used with that. I have a really good pair of scissors. They're small barber's scissors, and they will come apart for easier sharpening, which I like. And whoop. I've had these scissors for a while. They do really, really well. Next Care Liquid Band-Aid. If anybody watched one of my previous videos that I called Shelter Building Fail, you would have seen that, because I was an idiot and closed my folding saw on my finger, and it held up quite a lot. I also have some extra strength Tylenol Easy Tabs, 500 milligram tablets, a clean pair of scissors, Q-tips, cotton swabs, whatever, some antacid, a 30-day supply of multivitamins, some tablets for diarrhea, and a little ginseng candy. Tweezers, alcohol swabs, medical gloves, some benzocaine for if you're a little too sissy for alcohol, iodine, should be some more, yeah, that's iodine there, and there. Oh, there's that third alcohol swab. Four packs of burn cream and 2 little packs of antibiotic ointment, kind of like Polysporin or Neosporin, and a fully sealed full triangular bandage, a long SOS banner, a sort of a quick grab kind of thing, two tongue depressors that could be used as finger or thumb splints, right finger or thumb, as well as some Velcro tabs if you need to use those for splints. I got 2 of them in here. Some splinter out, a sealed bio-barrier face shield for mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, another pair of scissors, another pair of tweezers, as well as a really sharp, fine pointed set of tweezers for removing ticks mostly, or splinters, and some number 21 stainless steel surgical blades, and a whole mess of safety pins. St. John Ambulance Pocket Guide for first aid. As well as another grab bag. Abdominal pad, 5x9. Gauze. A bunch of different sizes of gauze, as well as a whole bunch of different sizes of band-aids, whatnot. And yeah, so that's my first aid kit. Little bit more than a boo-boo kit, but not super comprehensive. Okay. A cheap little sort of bush tool. It's got a button compass. It's got a whistle. That's coming apart. Okay. A ferro rod. And striker. So, not something that I'd necessarily want to stake my survival on, but, you know, handy little thing to have on there anyway, I suppose. Okay, next little e-tool is my cordage bag. I have some all-purpose, cheap little, like, polypropylene, yeah, 100% polypropylene, all-purpose rope, but I don't think I'd call it rope. It's really thin. But it'll hold, apparently, 105 pounds. So, not too bad. I also have sort of some all-purpose bush rope, kind of whatever. 2 hanks of paracord, and what is this stuff called again? Venetian blind rope, braided cotton. Not necessarily the best rope to have. Like, it'll only hold about 9-10 pounds, but it is braided cotton, which could be useful for starting a fire. And I don't know, maybe a clothesline, or, you know, whatever. But it's cordage, it's somewhat multi-purpose, and, you know, a little bit of extra fire capability is never a bad thing in the bush. Okay, let's get this out of the way. This is stainless steel, by the way, so I can boil water in it if I have to. Okay, this little pouch here. I have my personal information here. My phone number, my mother and father's phone numbers, basic contact information. If something happens to me and somebody finds my pack and not me, all the information is there to notify my next of kin. Okay, inside here, a carabiner with a bottle opener and a little hex screw that came with my Leatherman Sidekick multi-tool. Now, it had its own little leather case, but Ghost thought that it would be delicious, and he ate it. Little knife, little saw, and this thing is sharp too. You can shave with this. They lock into place really, really well. The needle nose pliers are spring loaded, which is always nice. Flathead and star screwdriver. A lanyard holder, a can opener, a nail file, and a knife that is kind of serrated, pretty sharp, not too bad. Always a good idea to have a multi-tool with you everywhere you go. I have one that I carry around practically every day, and this one stays in my pack. A small, tiny little Gerber folding knife. This came in the Bear Grylls kit, but it's surprisingly, I mean, I don't like the serrations on a knife, but this is surprisingly a good knife. It's good steel. It sharpens up really nice. I use it for small tasks. And actually, I am going to put it back in here because I recently acquired a larger folder, no serrations. Sharpens up pretty good. It's got a little, I don't know what you would do with that much paracord, but it's got a little cord on it. Handy. Teeny tiny little itty bitty knife. I threw it in here because I've literally had this thing since I was a little kid. Flashlight. I think it's 230 lumens. My primary light is 3,800 lumens, so, but this is just a nice little backup. Charger cord for my iPhone. Charger cord for my flashlight. Power bank that I keep charged regularly, and you're probably not going to be able to see it in this light, but it's got a little tiny flashlight there, and still fully charged, although it's getting around that time that I drain it and recharge it. I have one disposable heat pack. I don't even, hot paw? I don't even know what you call these things, really. Heat Factory disposable warm pack. Heats up for 10 hours. I had more in here. I've used them. I haven't replaced them yet. Torch lighter. Once again, extra fire is never a bad idea. If you've got room for it, extra fire. definitely. So that's pretty much that. As for the large bag that I've put on the front here, nothing super exciting, really. This is my food bag. I have a water ration that is pH 8.1, slightly alkaline, which apparently is supposed to help. It's 100% naturally alkaline spring water, fully sealed. That's sort of a just-in-case kind of thing. Some throat lozenges, which really it's only in there because I want to use the Sucrets tin for something else, but until I finish it up. I got a couple of energy bars here called Soldier Fuel. Tea bags. 12 coffee cups, filters. They're Hillbros something or other. I'm not even sure what kind of machine they're actually supposed to go in. The top is sort of a plastic sealed kind of whatever, but the whole bottom of it's kind of like a tea bag. So by my line of thinking, you should be able to just steep coffee the same way you do tea. Just throw it in and it'll do its own thing.
Nope.
All right. My camera turned itself off. I'm pretty sure where I left off was my little calorie kit in the dry bag. I got a couple of little packs of Lifesavers, some chicken and beef bouillon cubes, a whole bunch of little ginseng candies, as well as just a ton of like salt, pepper, sugar. I got some coffee filters, probably 10 or 15 square yards of tinfoil, all manner of little things like that. Normally I would have some dehydrated black beans, dehydrated rice. I don't know why I don't have my little thing of honey in here, but I don't. Not sure why, but I like to, honey doesn't go bad, so, you know, I like to carry it around. Good little energy boost. And, you know, it's getting kind of close to the end of the year. I haven't really put any food into the food bag, because I don't really do a whole lot of winter camping. I might this year. My nephew's been wanting me to do it with him. So I'll probably do it this year, in which case, you know, I'll go out and about and I'll get some beef jerky and a bunch of black beans, rice, various this, that, whatever. Do all that up. Oh. I have a small little folding knife here as well. Knives are just, they're one of those things, if you can jam one here or there, why not? You know, I mean, if I'm in the bush and I want to carve myself a spoon, am I going to use, you know, the knife that I kind of rely on for all of my tasks and have to constantly resharpen it? Or am I just going to grab, you know, one of my little folders, carve up my spoon, my, you know, whatever, and not dull my primary knife, which will give it a lot more life. The more you have to sharpen your knife, the more it's going to wear out. So it's always good to have, you know, just some extra little knives here and there. Oh. Anybody who's watched a lot of my videos know I love my coffee. Okay, right on top is my hygiene kit. In a dry bag. And actually, yeah, well, I just realized. I have some washcloths that go into a separate bag, and the primary function for those washcloths is to clean myself after I've gone to the bathroom. Because things like this you'll run out over time. So it's good to have a backup, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have Larry the Cable Guy rump wipes. 12 in a pack. These are great when you're camping. Every time I start to run out, I go pick up more. I don't really know anybody who's that much of a fan of, you know, taking a crap in the woods. These just make camping a little more enjoyable that way. But also, it's, you know, sanitary wipes with moisturizer, all purpose. I mean, they're basically, you know, like a little shower in a bag as well, if you had to go that route. Oh, there's another one, 6. Also, you know, whenever I go out to a restaurant and they hand you, you know, something other than those tiny little moist towelettes that they like to pawn off to you when you're eating wings or ribs or anything like that, I'll usually grab them, throw them in my pocket, and just wash my hands in the bathroom. They're a fair size, just for cleaning up and whatnot. These are towel pills. They're not even compressed towels. Hiking, camping emergencies. So they're almost, you know, like a big antacid kind of pill, but you moisten them down a little bit and they turn into like a fair size hand towel. So handy. Tweezers for ticks, whatnot. Comb and brush. Hand sanitizer. Really important. Keep clean in the woods. This is also, this isn't the non-alcoholic stuff. This is the mostly alcohol stuff. So really handy for getting a fire going as well. That'll burn like crazy. Biodegradable camp soap. Always try to be, you know, environmentally friendly. An extra comb, mostly for my beard. I gotta look good for all the critters in the woods. Toothbrush, handy. An extra bar of organic soap, oatmeal and green tea with sweet lime. Almost sounds like you could eat it. And an extra toothbrush that was sealed, because I don't normally go camping alone a lot of the time, and generally somebody that I go camping with, it's happened to me a couple of times, hey, can I borrow your toothbrush? Here, you can have this one. I always keep an extra toothbrush for something like that. Alright, battery on my DSLR died again. Seems to happen a lot. Hanging flashlight, kind of, you know, whatever, it's got a magnet on the back for, I don't know, metal things in the woods, maybe. Basically, you know, for the tent. I have a self-inflating pillow. It goes along with my self-inflating camp mat because I'm old and I don't want to sleep on the ground. Kind of self-explanatory on that one. This is basically just a great big thing of twine that I keep in this bag because this thing has a habit of unraveling on me, and it makes a huge mess, so I have to keep it in here to keep it wrapped up. A fairly recent acquisition, hasn't found its way into my fishing kit or anything like that yet, but it's just fish line. It's spider wire, 15 pound, and this stuff could be used for snares or whatever. It's really strong stuff. Silky Gomboy folding saw. Love this thing. One of my favorite pieces of kit. Oh, I'm going to save this for a minute. My cook kit. So everything I do on a budget. So some things are kind of costly, other things not so much. So I have my little Margo titanium Twig stove here. Handy little gadget. I can't say that I've used it quite so much as to justify buying it when I did, but I have used it, and it is really, really handy. It really helps to focus the heat when you're trying to boil water. And what are they? Woods. A cook kit from Woods. I paid about 50 bucks for it, Canadian, at Canadian Tire. Now it had a really, really nice gray kind of finish on it. I've just used it so much, it's black now. So frying pan or lid, a couple of cups, and there's that nice, you know, gray finish that I mentioned. As well, 2 pots that nest together, and the handle. So I know a lot of people like to use those sort of small little cup things, kind of whatever, and they're great and all. You know, they're lightweight, they store easy. You know, they're pretty cool. But I've cooked an entire duck in this thing, and it was delicious. Okay, where the heck did I put the bag for that? Alright, I'll find it later. Okay. My fire kit. This is like a lunchbox for sushi, which I thought was kind of cool. I even left the chopsticks in the top. So, lid snaps off. First part, what do you call this? A quick strike or a blast match? It seemed pretty cool when I bought it, honestly. I fairly quickly realized that I didn't really like it as much as as I thought I would. But you push down here, and then you put the ferro rod part onto, you know, your tinder or whatever, and you push down real hard. Pretty cool, but it's just so much easier to just strike it with a knife. That's basically what I do, as well as another ferro rod. Bic lighter. Always try to go for the clear Bic lighters because it's a lot easier to see where your fluid levels are at, and you'll know when you need to replace it, as opposed to taking one of those other ones out that aren't clear. You get out in the bush and, oh well, geez, I should have bought a new lighter before I came out here. I also have a pencil sharpener, large and small, that also has the holder case for your shavings, which really helps for when you're making your tinder, trying to get your fire going, kind of whatever. And a lot of people just throw a pencil sharpener in for saving space. But I've had windy days where I'm, you know, getting the shavings up and the shavings are blowing away like crazy. It's just, I prefer to have that kind of thing so that they're not blowing away on me. So underneath that is another section. I have some Vaseline soaked cotton balls, as well as some quick tinder fire sticks, and a fidget spinner. When these things first came out, I thought they were kind of silly. You know, like what practical reason, you know, could you possibly have for something like that? And then I seen a bunch of people doing tricks and, you know, changing hands and keeping them spinning and under the leg and, you know, kind of whatever, which takes, I guess, a little bit of practice, and that's kind of cool. But what I think it would be good for is when you're doing a bow drill fire, that would be a great bearing block. You're not getting any friction up top there if you're using that as a bearing block. So I know some people were carrying around beer caps for that reason, and well, they're definitely smaller and store better and whatnot, but I figured I got a little space in here, so fidget spinner for my bearing block for bow drill fires it is. So there's a practical application for fidget spinners if anybody's looked at them and thought, you know, those are no good. Okay, my sharpening kit. It's always a good idea to have things in the field to maintain the tools that you bring to the field. So I have my Buck diamond hone. Love this thing, excellent. My draw sharpener. It doesn't give you the best edge, but it's quick. And then just a piece of an old belt that I use as a strop. So keep my knives sharp, my axes, whatever. Back up, emergency flashlight, just in case, you never know. And this thing will last a good long time. Got a couple of cans of bug spray. I don't even normally like to use this stuff, but when the bugs are really, really bad, in conjunction with my head net, why not? An extra belt. I can't tell you how many times I've gone off into into a a camp trip, into the woods, even to shoot a video, and forgot my belt. And I always like to keep my buck knife on my belt. Who knows? Maybe someday Buck will sponsor me a little bit when they see how often I display their product. Whenever I go into the woods, I always take my dog. Ghost comes with me all the time. And this is his water bowl while we're in the woods. You could use it as a rain catch. You could use it to, if you're like in a survival situation, you can use it for water storage as well. But this is for Ghost to constantly have water. So, multi-purpose there, obviously. Okay. Oh, yes. I guess this is what people would call a possibles pouch. Extra hand sanitizer. The inner egg part of a Kinder Surprise with a whole collection of various sizes of small types of nails. You never know when something like that'll come in handy. My fishing kit, which my spider wire will eventually go into once I've wrapped it around something small and a little more portable. Some hooks, a leader if I happen to need it, and some sinkers, but also some eyelets. And although I don't have it with me today for some reason, I have a fishing pole that collapses down. It's a telescopic fishing pole. If for some reason it breaks or, whatever, I can get a long stick. I can twist these into the stick at regular intervals and make a fishing pole. And that's better than just tying the piece off at the end, because if you're fighting a fish and that stick happens to break and your line is tied to the end, you've lost line, hook, sinker, everything. But if you have eyelets going all the way to the back, you at least have a chance to get that fish as well as your line, hook, sinker, everything else. I have another little kit here with a roll of little bags, kind of like the ones you would pick up after your dog with. Multiple applications for little bags like that. Food collecting, water collecting, just all kinds of whatever. I also have a bunch of paper clips, some screw-in hooks, and some key rings, and just sort of little odds and ends that might be handy. You never know. Also, while you're in the woods, you could have gear breakdown. So clip there, and another clip here. Another one. And another one. Various sizes. I'm not even sure what you call those, so those. Another small little quick clip. Dry bags, just small and medium, I guess. Space blanket, Mylar blanket, emergency blanket, whatever you want to call it. zap straps or tie straps or kind of whatever. Some duct tape and some Gorilla Tape. Obviously, I've used quite a lot of that. Always handy. You know, I've seen a guy make a wallet out of this, so you could make all kinds of handy little things or whatever. You can also use it as a bandage, first aid situations, whatever. It's really handy. Another Mylar blanket and more Mylar blankets. Mostly because I think these things are really, really, really handy, and they're so lightweight and multi-purpose. I just like to have, you know, a small collection of them. They're just way too handy. And a few more things in here that I've used over time and haven't actually replaced yet. I can't think of what they are right off the top of my head right now, to be honest. But how I had that pack before, but now it don't really want to fit back together. So yeah, just, you know, sort of a in case of kind of whatever. Okay. I got a couple of first aid, like general use large sponges for more serious, but they don't really fit in the first aid kit all that well. So. Okay, this cloth here is a sort of a microfiber cloth, but it's got these really abrasive, well, not really abrasive, but fairly abrasive kind of, I don't know, things sewn into it. It's basically hard plastic. This is for cleaning my cook kit. So nice to keep things clean. Clear plastic tarp or sheeting or whatever, as well as a fair-sized blue tarp, shelter building, what have you. Some large, heavy-duty garbage bags. It's a bag. It's, you know, food collecting, water collecting, all kinds of general tasks and purposes and whatnot, as well as a net bag. Generally what I use this for is when I collect black walnut. You hang them up in a net bag for a while they sort of cure. But this could very easily become like a dip net for fish or whatever. I can't remember what I had in here before. It might have been the garbage bags. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what I had in here, but I didn't want to take it out of my pack when I emptied it out because it is pretty handy and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So that just goes, you know, basically right into there. And finally, last pouch. Sort of a clothing and shelter type pouch. So I have 4 of these rigged up. Basically what this is the nylon strapping with quick clips. And I have 4 of them. No telling what you're going to use these for, whether it be, you know, shelter building, repairing your pack, Even, you know, your boot blows out and you hold it back together. You never. This is a medium-sized tarp, which is 5 by 9, I believe. Still nylon, ripstop, kind of whatever. As well as a large one that is like 15 by 20. 15 feet by 20 feet, I think it is. So, you can make a heck of a shelter right there. In this dry bag is my rain gear. It is a jacket and pants, and works really, really well. It also helps to keep you warm. And my sleeping bag, Muskoka 450 from North 49. It's good to 0 degrees Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit. Small, lightweight, sort of, you know, whatever, not one of those big bulky ones, and still pretty comfortable. And this actually was for when before I put that other belt in here, for when I forgot to bring a belt. That's what that was for. So, still probably handy. Okay, so what else do I have? I have my collapsible fishing pole that I didn't bring. My food kit, pretty empty at this point, but I'm not really planning a trip anytime soon, so that's why. That's the vast majority of my gear. That's pretty much what I have. Oh, my axe that I do bring from time to time goes on the other side. The machete's on one side, the axe is on the other when I choose to bring it. And that's mostly, you know, a winter camp kind of thing. I don't really carry it around in the summertime with me. So I also have a hatchet that I don't really carry around very much, but, you know, once again, if it's winter time and you're doing a winter camp, you got to process a lot of firewood. You have that kind of thing. And my clothes, some clothes that fit in here, bush clothes, whatever. That's not in here either. So that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it. At least that I can remember. I know I have some stuff at home that I haven't kept in the pack, or, you know, for whatever reason it's not in here. But that's pretty much everything right there. So I don't know if I've missed something, you know, that you think maybe I should have. Drop a comment in the section below. And, you know, I'll do my best to either thank you for the suggestion or let you know why I don't have it. But, you know, I mean, I've been doing this a good long time, and honestly, I tell everybody this that I talk to about bushcraft or, you know, camping or whatever. The more you know, the less you need. Plain and simple. You know, do I need an expensive Catadine water filter? No. Boil it in the pot. I could, you know, filter it with my bandana and boil it up in the pot, and it's perfectly safe. So, do I need it? No. Do I like it? Oh yeah. It's definitely handy to just, you know, pump it through the filter, drink right away. You don't have to mess around. handy. But, you know, do I need the muskol? No, not really. There's a number of plants out there that will repel insects. Most mints, as well as tansy. So, do I need them? Not really. I carry them because it's convenient, and you know, I don't have to go looking for mint or tansy or anything like that when the mosquitoes are driving me, you know, just batty. So, you know, what the hey? If I don't have something, and you know, you drop comments saying, you know, hey, maybe you should, and there's a reason why, I'll definitely answer, and I'll let you know why. And if not, it's kind of a, yeah, why don't I have that? Then, you know, I'll shoot you thanks and whatnot. So yeah, now I got to get all this back together and get on the road. It's starting to get kind of dark. My dog is wanting to get back out running around and being a dog. So we will hopefully see you in the next video. Drop me a like, a share, a subscription, whatever. Like I say, feel free to comment, and we'll see you again. Have a good one.